Our Love, Diary of a Prince, written by Cameron Holder. Chapter 10. February 1st, 1751. Snow is covering the terrain of Italy. Everything is white, soft, in a state of tranquil bliss. The sounds of yelling are filling the forest as I run and hide from strange men with torches of fire and swords ready to hunt down an angel. I am the angel of darkness in the eyes of the world. My fingers cannot feel the firm grip of you. Writing is becoming more difficult by the minute. Augustus is exhausted and has no proper clothing to help him keep warmth. My clothing is too small for his frame, so we are close in proximity, hugging one another in terrified silence. Please do not let them find us. Running is not enough. We are going to die by the hands of the church. Two innocent young lovers are scorned and judged by mortals who cannot and will not comprehend what our love means. This is the first time where I feel fear. I thought I knew what fear was until it tied its tail around me and clawed my face. Fear knows who I am inside and out. It will do anything to see my bloody, lifeless body stain these snowy trees. Fear is starving for my blood, special blood. One of a sinner. The yelling of my name will not cease. These men keep calling out for me, wanting me to expose myself and give up. I see flames. I can see them in the distance. Augustus is squeezing me tighter, and for the first time I see him as a man. Vulnerability looks dreadful on my love. Tears are dripping from his eyes. I try to calm him so he does not make noise. Diary. Today is the worst day of our lives. The yelling is becoming louder as I write. I can hear Father Edmund. I can hear Wilfred. My eyes are pouring out tears and Augustus is kissing my cheek. Cold kisses sting me. Is this my final ending? I do not want to die in these conditions. I am sorry for everything. I am sorry for not being the son that my parents prayed for. I am sorry for not being a good enough brother. I am sorry for not caring enough for Priscilla. I am sorry for involving my lord in this horrid situation. Spare everyone I love and take me, if that is what must be done. I will be the sacrificed angel, if that is what saves my friends, family, and lover. The snow is falling into heavier sheets, and the men are not burning a tree in the nearby distance. Horses make the ground beneath them tremble, and the crying of a man purges my ears. This is all overwhelming. My consciousness and the noises do not stop. Fear is breathing heavily on my God, and it is swirling that red tongue up and down my spine. We are keeping quiet as the men come closer in our direction. We are behind a wide tree with shrubbery to cover ourselves. I now see Father Edmund's figure. He signals to go in another direction. Fear has spared us another day of life, but I know fear will return, vengeful and full of hatred. We are going to wait until everything in sight is cleared out. I am watching these men in red cloaks, holding fire and chanting. Looks to be 30 of them. It looks like I descended into a hell on earth. I had no idea so many people were out looking for us. Maybe there are more searching in the city? No matter the circumstance, Augustus and I have agreed to run away to France and begin a new life there. It may be easier since no one knows who we are. Augustus does not speak their language, but he is willing to learn. I know the basics of French, so I can get by. I do need to become fluent if I am going to make that my permanent home, though. Maybe, just maybe, we might find someone else who is alike in our spirit. We do not know how, but we will get there. Now that the men are gone, we can breathe again. We are going to start our journey to Milan, and once there, we are going to find a way to make the journey to France. I have to stop writing, but I will continue our discussion when the time is right. Goodbye for now, my friend. Stephen. February 13th, 1751. We have been in Milan for 7 days now, still hiding and starving for food. Money is gone and we smell like our natural essence. Not the sweet essence, but the musk of an animal. Running in the snow and walking many miles can change one's appearance also. I have not shaven and neither has Augustus. Seems like weeks have gone by without a clean bath, and it is unbearable to walk around the city and ask people for help. No one will look in my direction, and I feel so ashamed. Augustus and I are keeping hopeful that we will get a miracle that will help us on our way to France. The word of our sinful ways has spread to this part of Italy, and churches have been informed of our identity. They will not stop until we are killed like cattle. Yesterday, when I was in search for food, the church was filled with nuns and priests and patrons of the church. They were telling everyone that they seek assistance to find two young men who have committed a crime against God. We must be stopped at all cost. They know our names as well, so we have to be extremely cautious about where we go in the city. I think it'd be best if we make haste tonight, enduring the journey to the French territory before anything dreadful comes to fruition. Time waits for no man, and time is certainly not on our side. How did my life transform into a Shakespearean tragedy? All I want is love, and the world smears me with red ribbon, abandoning me as one of the good men. If I am to be the devil in their eyes, then so be it. Augustus has been looking quite thin. His energetic personality has dimmed slightly, and I can see hopelessness in his eyes. He has given so much and lost everything for me, so I must return his generous efforts in abundance. Diary, I wish you were able to turn back time or transport us to another world where people lived in harmony. You constantly tell me that you are only pages placed together in cover, and I know it very well. But I wish on every star that you could be real. Let me breathe life into you as God did with Adam. Send me a sign to help me in these dire times. Sometimes I think it would be great help if I ended my own life. I understand that I should not think of that as an alternative, but the thoughts ponder in my mind, asking if this is all worth it. Is Augustus worth living for? I could die in an instant and would be happily in my own heavenly reality with no worries, no pain, nothing, absolutely nothing. This is all becoming so overwhelming for my mind. It can all be too much to handle. I am so young and should not have to be pressured like this. I promise not to go into dark corners of my mind. I have to stay thoughtful in a positive light and make my life better. I do not know how specifically, but somehow, life for Augustus and I will be pleasurable. My mind is feeling weak and my hands are becoming exhausted. I will talk with you at another time, my dear friend. Stefan. February 16th, 1751. This is all my fault. It is simply that. Why did this have to happen to my love? I do not know where I am, and I do not know if I will ever see Augustus again. I am sorry to you. My mind is frantic, and my words are not making my feelings sensible. Augustus is gone, and it was my fault completely. We were running a long distance in the dead winter mountains. We were trying to make the journey to France, and we realized that the Venetian local militia was after us for victory. The council did not only chase us with fire and guns, but with crossbows. The sounds of guns pierced my ears, and it was hard to hear anything. The sun was setting, so my vision was increasingly becoming blurry. The snow was starting to fall, and my legs felt as if they were being pulled by the strong arms of the snowbank. Augustus thought it would be a good idea to run in separate directions, so the council had to locate us in a split group. I told him that I did not agree with this crazy plan, however, he did not listen to me and ran to the northern side of the terrain. I screamed his name, but I did not get a response. My legs became weak and I fell down. The frigid air stabbed my skin and I saw my feet bleeding. I saw Father Edmund signal some of the men. They paused and ran in Augustus's direction while Wilfred and a group of men were heading toward me. I crawled my way through the snow. Shots were flying closer to me but landed in the snow. Fire erupted from their torches, and I was being plummeted by the white waves. My eyes were full of tears and my breathing was slowing down. I was almost at the border. I could see smoke in the near distance. That meant there was a church or house somewhere, but my body gave out and I collapsed. The numb sensation of my entire body somehow made me feel relaxed. My time was near. I watched Wilfred walk to me slowly, the men around him pointing fire at me. I had to accept what was coming. There was no escape from my punishment. Wilfred said that I broke his family. I tarnished the community with my slippery acts of sodomy. I destroyed and stole his son away from the light and truth of God. My actions must be halted so that peace and prosperity would return to the human race. I was not looked on as a human anymore. I was looked on as a disease. My life was worthless, and in this moment, I did not fight. I did not want to be a brave man who stood up in the face of adversity. Let me die like an insect. Crush my spirit into oblivion and let me descend into the black lagoon of nowhere. Wilfred prepared his gun and pointed it right at my heart. My eyes closed and the shot was blasted. The next phase was silence. I felt blood on my face, streaming down into the snow. I opened my eyes, and what I saw made me scream into the high heavens. Priscilla, her body on top of mine, her chest with a hole gaping out. Her smile glared at me. Her last words to me were, "I am sorry for everything. I was not a good friend to you. You deserve everything good in the world. Please let me be forgiven for my sins." The life in her eyes were being pulled. Wilfred fell to his knees and apologized to his daughter. He cried, and she put her hand on his face to wipe his tears. The only daughter he had so many hopes for was dying by his hand. She told him to not pass judgment on such wonderful people as I and Augustus. Her last breath was soft and graceful. She said in her quiet tone that she will dance for eternity for the angels of the universe. Her eyes closed and her hand collapsed to the ground. Wilfred held her lifeless body and the men stood in shock. I got free from the body of my dead friend and tried to regain my strength from a distance. I could not believe what I witnessed. I cried, and then my depression turned into anger. Why would she do that for me? Why would she risk everything for a sinner? Priscilla did not have to die. The blood of my friend is stained on me forever, and I will never forgive myself for what I caused. The cost of love is too much for my soul. I was ready to be taken away from this God-forsaken land. Eventually, I made the journey across the border, and I was now in France. I waited for Augustus, but I saw no sign of him. Shots were being blasted, and screams of men filled the chilly air, but I could not find his voice. Trying to yell out for him, there was no response. The wind intensified, and I felt my body getting weaker again. A woman walked up to me, and I was startled. She spoke in French, so I did not have to be frightened. The woman asked if I needed shelter, and like a flame I was blown out. I woke up the next day in a bed, and the woman I saw before stood next to me. I asked where I was, and she said a small town called Vassanet. She told me that I fainted, and her husband helped me into their house. I asked if she or her husband saw another man who looked distraught like myself. They did not see anyone else. Two little children popped their heads into the room, and the woman introduced them. The little girl was named Belle, and the little boy was named Pierre. They both hugged me and welcomed me to France. The woman told me to rest and have some soup so that I can recover quickly. I wanted to get out of bed and try to find my Augustus, but I was too weak. The husband brought me a tiny bowl of soup, and the woman asked if she could wash my clothes. I told her yes, but there were a lot of bloodstains. The husband asked where I had come from and why I was bleeding so much. I told them about my life back home and how this wasn't my blood. I told them about the council exiling me, being tied to burning wood, Augustus and I running away for what seemed like months, and about Priscilla. They both said that I could stay here for as long as I needed. I am safe in their home, and the husband would help me look for Augustus. A wave of emotion patted my head, and the flow of tears rushed out of me. My friend, my dear friend, is gone. How could she? Why would she? My lord is missing, and my only friend is dead. Her words are still clear in my vision. They are twisting my brain and taunting me. She can't be forgiven. Not right now. She can't be dead. We had too many memories to look back on. We had too many memories to create. We were preparing to return to school together. I thought I was going to meet her secret lover, and she would help Augustus and I find our own bliss in another world. Our kinship was going to last another eternity. Now my heart has to settle for this tragic outcome. When I close my eyes, I can see her smile. I see her hand falling to the ground. Get out of me. Diary, what am I going to do without her? How will I tell Augustus if I ever see him again? I need to put these thoughts away. We will talk at a later period. Stefan. March 2nd, 1751. Hello, old friend. I know that you must be so upset with me for being absent for such a long time, and I completely understand. I did not feel like replying to you until I felt right in my spirit. Since my last encounter with you, I have been staying with a lovely French couple and their 2 children. Today is my last day with them, and I will be making my way to a city called Lyon. There I will find a job and start making money, get a place to stay, and eventually move on to Paris, the city of love as the people like to refer to it. I am still not over Priscilla and her passing. She will be missed dearly. I still cry over her and the lasting images on my head, but I like to replace it with things that make me happy, like the times we shared in her room, or the days on the beach, the boat rides along the river, flowing through the university together, the masquerade balls, the first time I met him. You want to know what happened with Augustus, I assume. He is alive. I found him in another small town called La Troupe. When I was able to walk and find my balance again, I went searching for him on the northern direction he took to cross into France. I asked around if anyone saw him, and after 4 days of searching, I saw him wet and cold, begging for food and asking people if they had seen me. He does not speak the native tongue, so I watched him become frustrated and cry out for help. He saw me in the distance, and he ran toward me. We embraced for a long time. After I fed him and washed his soiled clothes, I broke the news to him about Priscilla. He cried for hours and pondered on the same questions I had for myself. She was a brave woman for saving my life, and there is not one thing that I can do to express the gratitude for her actions. He asked about his father. I said that when I was crawling away, Wilfred took a moment to stare at me, but had his focus on Priscilla. Those red eyes. I knew he wanted to kill me, but he could not leave his daughter to be covered in red-soaked snow. I'll never know why he did not run after me. Priscilla was his way to more power, more money, more control, more deceit. Now that she is gone, there is no more reason to chase after a sodomite. I asked Augustus what happened when he separated from me. He said that he made it to the border with the energy he had left to run with. The men wanted to shoot him, but they were French soldiers with larger weapons. The councilmen had to return to where they came from or be shot dead if they crossed. After that, a soldier gave him a place to rest for a few hours until they kicked him out to fend for himself. They said that they only served the king, not a runaway. He was on the streets asking for help, and then we crossed paths. I am so happy to be reunited with my love. I will now gather along some clothes and a trunk for Augustus and I for our long journey, thanks to the French couple. I would rather not put their names in this book for their safety. Hopefully, in the next year or so, we will be living in Paris, drinking champagne and making love under the stars. I can start making art again and find a salon to produce a worthy name, and Augustus can find new friends for scientific research on the universe we live in. The path will be long and demanding both on the body and mind. However, I will stay hopeful. I have decided that I will no longer write entries, my sweet diary. Your purpose was fulfilled with me, and the moments we shared have been healing. Now I can see a brighter sun, a rose that is deeper in red, a bluer ocean. You helped me figure out who I am and what kind of life I want to live. I now see you as my past, and there is no reason to live in the future without reminder of the tribulations I endured. Augustus is all that I need now. You have been kind, unwavering, and patient with me. Maybe now someone else who is similar to me can read these pages and make their own journey with you. Take good care of them, and they will take care of you. I will leave you in a place that is safe. Parting is such sweet sorrow. Thank you for everything. And one more thing. I forgive Priscilla. Stefan. This has been Our Love, Diary of a Prince, written by Cameron Holder. Acknowledgements. I would like to thank my parents for supporting me and my creative mind. You taught me that I could achieve anything with perseverance, heart, and faith. I would like to thank my sisters for always showering me in love and kindness. I want to thank my entire family. Your support and encouragement means the world to me. I would like to thank Priscilla for coming into my life and being a spirit of vibrancy and joy. We have had such great experiences together from the first time we met to now. Thank you for pushing me to finish this novel and cheering me on. I want to thank my love, Miguel. Thank you for wrapping me in your warmth and unconditional love. You were the first person to make me feel true love. This novel was written for you. I would like to thank Mr. Graff. Thank you for putting up with my exuberant personality and transforming me into the artist I am today. Thank you for the pep talks and not giving up on me even when I felt like giving up on myself. You will always be the foundation of my creative success, and I will forever be grateful. Thank you to all my amazing friends who love me no matter what. And thank you for listening to this audiobook. Thank you, everyone who bought the book. I am so elated. I am so excited that your support and your encouragement helped me and pushed me to finally deliver this artistry, this vision, this dream of mine after 8 long years. And there's another book coming out. So I will probably keep you updated on it. I will keep you updated on it. It's not going to come out anytime soon, but I am in the process of writing another book. Thank you for this journey. Have a great day.